Hey, welcome to the segment. We just saw Hardcore Henry, and we're going to talk about that movie. I want to start off by saying it's different. What did you think?
I had no idea what to expect, actually. And then when I went to the cinema, I was shocked, actually, how... First person, you expect that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But not to the degree it was. It was definitely a different film, yeah. So let's get your opinions of it. Maybe do you want to go straight into...
Well, I was... we're going to get into spoilers here.
I think so.
I think let's just get straight into spoilers.
I
This
agree.
is an after-movie discussion.
Yeah, I think so.
Not so much a straight review.
No.
And I was pleasantly surprised. I was expecting a lot less. I was expecting it to rely a lot more on gimmick. Now, the gimmick for me, though, was the only downside I felt to the movie. But it did have enough of a story for me and enough action to keep me entertained. You couldn't go somewhere and come back. You felt like you'd missed something.
Well, you know, that's a good point. I thought the plot, the storyline, was actually really good. And I was shocked how good it was, actually. The first person, you know, the PlayStation kind of feel to it was very difficult at times for me because I think if it was me and you know, I'm obviously not a huge filmmaker or anything, but I just felt sometimes I needed a little bit wider width and maybe then cut back to the chase, because when it was going like that, and I don't like fairground rides, so suddenly I'm feeling sick. But other than that, I thought it was really well done.
Well, when you're playing a first-person shooter game too, when you're running in those games, the camera will stay steady.
Right.
This did not do that.
Not even close.
Feeling the you start to feel it on a especially on a 50-foot tall screen. You know,
it was.
I felt like I would have liked the movie more. I think if it wasn't in that first person.
Well, I think I like the idea, and I think that was probably what captured the film a little bit. But I think it would have been nice maybe to cut to wide, then back to that, and so you didn't constantly feel, you know, you were running in that one person. And maybe it wouldn't have worked, who knows, but I just felt there was times when, boy, I had to actually look away because I was feeling, whoa, it's making me feel sick. But other than that, I thought the fight scenes were good seeing them from him, although they did go on a little bit too long in the final one. But there was a lot to really like about that film. And I thought the director...
what'd you find out about him too?
Well, he's actually made... music videos.
Okay.
And he made them for a band in Russia called Biting Elbows, and actually they were very similar to what we just saw. Not necessarily the storyline, but the way it was filmed in the first person. Yeah, so obviously had a little bit of experience of doing that, and then took that from the music videos into a film. And that was a lot of cojones to do a film like that, actually, and then to get it to the big screen. So it won an award, I know, in a film festival, but I don't know which one right now. And I think, you know, there was a couple of surprising people. Tim Roth, a small little role, but you know, nonetheless, I thought that was quite surprising.
Who was the Jimmy guy?
Jimmy's
I've seen him in
he was in
zombie movies. Right?
Well, I know he was in District 9. I think.
That's it.
He was in Chappie. He was in
Elysium.
Asylum or whatever that
Elysium.
Elysium, thank you. And he's from South Africa. He's a good actor. And then I liked Haley Bennett, who played Estelle. She was in The Equalizer as the last film, and she was in Marley and Me as well, I think. But other than that, really, I mean, because obviously you don't see the other chap who's playing, you know, the camera, and so they actually have no picture posted on IMDb.
Nice. Yeah, I like too how it just kind of got going too. I'd like to see more superheroes movies be like that, where it's just like, let's get to it. If they could do this with Hardcore Henry, like let's just have a Batman film where he's just Batman. He just goes, you know what I mean? Just does his thing. You know?
Yeah, I think it's probably set a little bit of a tone, really, and I think a lot of people sat back and went, that was actually pretty bloody good. And you know, I liked it.
You didn't need to bog it down with a bunch of,
And you know, a shoot 'em up style, you know, it reminded me, not the whole film, but that sequence at the end was Kill Bill. You know,
Yeah.
when she's got the samurai sword fighting the thousands.
Well, I
of
mean,
guys.
it's basically to that excess, and actually, that's another place where the movie did end up losing me because
it was a bit too much.
At a certain point, when there's so many people getting killed, it's just like whatever, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean, it's you just kind of.
Wait, do you remember Clockwork Orange?
I don't.
Oh, you never saw that?
It, no.
Well, they kind of dressed in the white suits and the bowler hats and everything. And for no reason other than that, the way they were dressed, it kind of reminded me a little bit of Clockwork Orange.
Okay.
And how I felt when I first watched that, I thought, this is the weirdest film I've seen. And that's kind of how I felt with this film. And yeah, I ended up really liking Clockwork Orange. So maybe I'm going to really end up liking this film. But it was just strange enough. And then it kind of reminded me, for anybody who's old like me, you know, Andy Warhol kind of touch to it, you know, that artsy kind of feel to it.
Yeah, they definitely had, well, and I think that's where you're picking up the Russian thing, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, the foreign aspect of
Exactly.
it, the way that the music played with the action, and the way that the action
music.
was kind of, the action was, of course, they just, what would I say? They just didn't care, you know. They were just going for it.
They just went for it. Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Unapologetic.
There you go, and to have Queen Blair and because he's a Superman.
Yeah, well, you know, I mean,
It was brilliant.
you know, but everything up until the last fight scene on the roof, I was with, but the last fight scene, it was so much.
Went too long.
And it was just like so much carnage that it didn't even matter anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it was just like, whatever, ripping off head, and putting...
Yeah, I think if
you know,
they
it's
had toned
just
that down just a shade.
Yeah, they could have had,
And
you know...
then the crescendo would have been him with the barbed wire coming in and doing it. But other than that, I thought it was a good film. I noticed that IMDb, based on 2,168 votes, it scored at 6.9 out of 10.
Okay.
What do you score it?
Well, as a movie experience, I'd probably do it at a C, because it was good, but I would never want to sit through that again because of the shaky cam first person stuff. There was actually got to a level of pain at certain points.
Yeah,
and I think that if that same exact movie was filmed in a more traditional sense, it could have been a B or an A movie for me.
Well, I agree with you. You know, if you're playing the game, the camera stays still, and that would have been the only call out I would have had against the film. Is that, you know, for a lot of people, they don't like a lot of shuddering movement. So I think you're right. I think in that respect, it killed the film a little bit. Other than that, you know, I liked a lot of that. You know, but it was just the running ones. They were very awkward.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. I'm kind of scoring it a little down. I'm probably going to go. IMDb gave it 6.9. I think that's a reasonable score for me. I'm not going to go lower than that. So I'm going to give it 6.9 myself. I noticed it wasn't scored by Rotten Tomatoes yet. Metascore had it at 51.
I saw something with Rotten Tomatoes at about like an 80 something.
Okay, because it wasn't showing up on IMDb today. All right, so that's interesting. But you know, you said Russia, and that's really the first film I think I've seen that lately that's come out of Russia. You know, and it was very different, and like you said, a little.
There's a lot of movies based in Russia, but not a lot of movies coming out of Russia.
And to use that kind of casting as well, and to get, you know, Tim Roth to play in it, that's pretty amazing itself. So I wonder what the connection is there, but I think definitely a film that you want to go and see it at the theatre, because especially the one we go to, it's great sound in there, and when you're listening to Queen and all, and it's brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, the movie only cost $10 million to make. They're going to make substantial profit, but it's one of those movies too where it's hard to recommend it to people because it's really it's a hardcore movie, and it's definitely for a younger audience.
It's a shoot 'em up kind of hardcore.
Even
movie.
younger than millennials, really. I think this is more of a.
Although the people we interviewed tonight, and you can check that out.
Yeah, there's older people who went and saw it, but I'm
and
surprised.
actually a couple of girls enjoyed it. You know, so whilst there's a lot of violence, there was some good stuff in there. There really was. So we're not saying don't see it. I think you should go and see it.
I liked that it just went for it because these movies are so. I don't enjoy any kind of movie really typically where the hero is unbeatable. I don't like James Bond movies. Sorry. But he's going to take back my British Cup now. I just lost my British Cup privileges. But, see, I think if James Bond was more like this, though, I would enjoy it more because it basically... it takes out that will he die aspect that they always try to put in a James Bond movie, where you know he's not going to die, so you don't care. And this just takes it to that next level of how is he going to kill the next guy. And it puts the focus more on that rather than, you know...
Well, I think James Bond has come
putting in false tension.
Well, yeah, but I think James Bond has come a lot more real, you know. And I mean, obviously I like them all, but you know, the latter day, you know, Daniel Craig is a lot more real bleeds and his shirts get ripped and a little bit more truthful in that way. But you can't tell me it's not a great show. It's a great. I love James Bond. Take my English skill back and stab him. No, but seriously, going back to this film, there was.
I liked that there was. You know, I saw some complaints online. You know, not enough story, not enough plot. I liked that they weren't trying to bog it down. They just made it like a game, and that was actually, I think it's redeeming quality because it did have that Quentin Tarantino-esque kind of you know,
PlayStation game.
Don't make us try to think he's gonna die every 10 minutes. Just make him super invincible and let's see how he's gonna kill the next guy.
And there was some incredible special effects with ripping open the heart, you know, the chest rather than putting the heart piece in, and there was a lot of stuff in there. I thought, wow, they really kind of thought this film through. There was a lot of stuff in there to watch, you know, with the Jimmy kept coming back, Jimmy. You know, I thought that was kind of hysterical.
What'd you think too of the plot twist at the end and stuff? Did you see that coming, or did that surprise
No, I did
you?
not. No.
Okay.
No, did you?
Well, I started to wonder once he got to the, you know, to the place and they were showing all the other soldiers. And they said they're all gonna wake up with the memory of your wife or whatever. And I'm thinking, well, then he could probably be one, right? Like he's probably one. But you know the full twist of it, you know, I wasn't quite expecting. But I think it would have had more impact though. I think it would have been a better movie if he would have just died on the roof. And the bad guys would have won. I think that would have been a better movie. And it could have set up more for like a sequel or something.
Well, and actually what would have been kind of cool, got into the helicopter and then fell out.
Yeah,
well, I don't know if he died or no. You know, maybe he'd come back.
No, I would like to have seen the.
You'd like to see him die? Yeah?
Well, it just would have been different. It would have been, you know, it would have made the twist more powerful if you know the Henry character dies and you know the.
When then Jimmy comes back, and gives him a new heart.
Yeah, something like that. And all of a sudden you see Jimmy walk up. Yeah. That could be an end credit scene too. See, now we're making a bet, and then all of a sudden, you know, Jimmy, hey, come on, buddy, let's go. That's like the end credit scene. See, give us a call, Hollywood.
Yeah, we're ready.
Yeah.
So you scored it. See, I scored it 6.9 out of 10. IMDb 6.9 out of 10. It's a good film. Definitely go and watch it. It's not for everybody though.
Yeah, it's very you know, a specific, you know, sliver of the population is going to want to see this movie, but because of how much it was filmed for, which, you know, 10 million, they did it on a budget. I'm surprised with the special effects it was only 10 mil.
Well, and you got to think, you know, 10 mil and unknown quantity, if you will.
I bet you can get a lot more in Russia out of 10 million bucks. Too.
Oh, I'm sure you can.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing is that a small budget film like that actually got all the way to the theatre.
I think it's because of the gimmick too. That's the other thing.
Pretty
you know,
impressive.
I didn't like the gimmick, but if it wasn't for the gimmick, it never would have gotten here.
So I think that's full marks to them for doing that. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I do feel like I need a Dramamine though.
Yeah, that was one thing. Motion sickness. I definitely felt that. But so we got a little bit of the new set going on. We have another set, so we got another few more.
Be doing, you know, basically different locations.
Different locations.
Good to go. And check out the first fan reviews. That's the previous upload to this one. And we do this every week. Next week might be a Jungle Book, I think. So,
yeah, definitely. That's.
And I want you to wear this.
Oh, the same
jacket.
look. I'll wear my pith helmet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But anyways, and then we do you know, other videos too. So check it out. And thanks for watching, and do a little cheers thing. All right.
Slangy. Cheers.